Hi guys, and welcome to Radwolf and Bushcraft. Thanks a lot for tuning in. It is late August now, and I'm just out here in the woods to do a little bit of foraging. So if you want to learn about a couple of plants and wild edibles that you can find in this time of the year, just join me. Let's go. So here we got our first find. Those tiny fellas here are mountain ash berries, and they are edible, but these unfortunately are a little too young. They are not really ripe. You can see this by the orangey color and also by the texture. They're rather solid, as you can see. So those are not good for harvest yet, but if those are around, there will be more in the close proximity. Funnily enough, here we can see some more of these berries, and probably a squirrel or maybe also a bird just dropped them here and just ate a bit. If you can see this right here, they just go right for the marrow and just suck out the plant juices. Alright, so this is the perfect area in which we find the mountain ash, just at the edge of a forest close to some sort of field, because it can get a lot of sun and can develop these berries. So we're gonna harvest now. Okay, so let's quickly talk about the characteristics of the mountain ash tree, also called Psorbos Alcapurrias in Latin. First of all, the leaves. If you can see this right here, we do deal with a non-evenly fingered leaf. That means that we have one on the tip and then pairs to the sides, right? Usually those pairs are between 7 and 15 pairs, and the leaves have a rather sappy green type of color on the top and a more grayish green on the bottom. Also really important, this particular ash has double teeth. So if you take a look right here at these teeth, they're actually double teeth. Maybe you can see this right here on that leaf. Here you can see one big serration and then one small serration. When it comes to the fruit is basically this kind of cob, right? And basically, these fruits do grow in a panicle-like shape. So they are not umbels, but are asymmetrical on their stems, about 8 to 10 millimeters in diameter, and they do have a 5-star type of bottom, almost like an apple. They are actually also related to apple and do contain apple juices, also pectin, a lot of vitamin C, parasorbic acid, lemonic acid, and different types of tannins. So that's kind of like a power food. So if you should decide to go out and forage for mountain ash berries, make sure you look for trees that have very sappy and green leaves, right? This tree here has seen better days, and so did the fruits, because if you take a close look right here, they are wrinkly, dried out, and have this light orange color. But what you want are fruits that are round, almost juicy and fat, with a nice dark red color, okay? And also another recommendation here, make sure that you boil these berries, because there's this common belief in folklore that those berries are toxic. They are not. Some people can eat them without problems, but most people do experience some issues with the indigestible nature of those berries. So they get stomach cramps, some people also have to vomit. So just make sure that you boil them, maybe process them into a jam or some kind of pulp, and then they're good to eat, alright? Sometimes mountain ash berries are confused with these berries right here. These are the fruits of the tree Crateagus, or in English, hawthorn or quickthorn. Those are also edible and very rich in vitamins. If we take a look at the leaves, those are also very distinct, feathered, and cannot be mistaken for the mountain ash. So here we do have a lot of bramble or blackberry bushes, but unfortunately there's barely any fruit. So we continue. So here we do have some elderberry, but it's not a lot. There's just a couple of cobs, so I'm going to leave these so that this tree can reproduce in this area here. So here's another really interesting plant, that's burdock, and it's easily recognizable. If you can see this right here, a leaf is really big, so almost like the entire length of my lower arm, right? And it's really fleshy, it's heart-shaped, and if we just take that a little closer, let me just get this one here, we do see that it has also like a really vivid green color on the top, but on the bottom side and alongside the stem, it's covered in this gray type of hairy fuzz, right? And right here at the bottom, it gets this red color, it almost looks like rhubarb. That's a really good characteristic for identifying burdock. And you could eat those stems, just like so. Or you could start digging right here and get out the root, which is kind of like a sweet potato. And what's really important, if you go dig for this plant, make sure it looks like this. That's the first year of burdock. I'm also going to show you the second year of burdock. Then the root is usually woody, if it's in its second year. So again, for the comparison, burdock in its first year, and this here is burdock in its second year. And you notice those sticky type of balls, right, that are almost like Velcro. That's also a very distinct characteristic of burdock. And if you see right here, this is where the stems come out, and the second year burdock already took out so much nutrients of the root that the root is basically turning into hardened wood, and it's not really chewable and also not digestible anymore. So make sure you just go for the first year type of burdock. One more characteristic right here, I didn't mention that before, it's growing in a rose shape kind of pattern, and then later on it is growing upwards on a stem like so, if it's in its second year. So right here on the wayside I found a little more elderberry right here. As you can see, this is a nice tree. It has quite a couple of berries right spread all across that tree, and I'm just gonna harvest some of these right now. Here is another really interesting plant, Impatiens Glandulifera. This plant is an invasive species from the Himalayan area, and it's spread all across the northern hemisphere, and it's really great for survival food due to these tiny seed pods. If you press them, you can see those seeds emerge, and they are really rich in oils, fats and proteins. Let's just have a look at the plant itself. The leaves are basically growing in a star-shaped pattern, winding alongside the stem. If we take a close look at the stem itself, it has this very Asian type of look to it, almost like bamboo, right, with those nodes. And the flowers can either be white or pinkish, or maybe even purple, like this one right here. And as you can see, it has these lips almost like an orchid. So how do we properly harvest these seeds? Well, we just slightly touch the seed pods, and as you can see, the tension of the hull opens them up all by itself. And if you see this, those white seeds are not ripe yet. You could eat them technically, but we want the dark seeds, the brownish or black seeds in those seed pods. And then, once you harvested them, you just roast them, or maybe you put them into some dish as some sort of spice, and it gives you a little energy boost, right? Okay, so the day is coming to an end, and as you can see, I could forage quite some food. This is a bag filled with mountain ash berries. In my backpack right here, I do have a bean glass filled with elderberries, also a bean glass filled with those Impatiens seeds that we just talked about. And yeah, I hope you could learn something new about a couple of plants, right? If you did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you liked it, please subscribe to the channel too. And if you're interested in foraging in general, please check out this playlist right here or the other videos on my channel. I hope this was of use to you. Up until next time, have a great time outdoors, enjoy foraging, and see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.